complexă și tensionată. Noi suntem vigilenți, vom lua toate măsurile necesare pentru prevenirea unor escaladări.
Now preparing the ground for it, for the Russian audience, preparing the ground that their Transnistria is under threat, it needs to be basically defended.
New strikes in Kyiv. Ukrainian officials saying 2 buildings were hit. A stunning bombardment on the city.
So there's always been a forward presence with British forces operating in the area, but this is quite a step up.
We are sitting at over 50% of our nation in drought. It is unbelievable.
This, I think, is the worst year we've ever had.
He's right. Water officials believe the past 3 years could end up as the driest in California's history. The drought impacting parched farmlands and American dinner tables.
It's affecting crops, it's causing forest fires. Also, coal supply is dipping amongst a serious power shortage as we're hitting record power demand. So we are seeing across India, there are forest fires being reported, power shortage.
The intense heat has also affected wheat crops, with some agriculture experts predicting this year's yield will be 25% less.
Globally, vegetable oil prices increased 23% in March, and it will get worse.
They have not the clue how they will manage this. It is just a wish, and they are more telling this story all over to calm down the people, the economy especially, and nothing more.
Де-факто, по сути, мы находимся в состоянии Третьей мировой.
Мы проигрываем на Украине, или начинается Третья мировая. Лично я считаю более реалистичным путь Третьей мировой. Самое невероятное, что в конце концов все это закончится ядерным ударом, мне представляется все же более вероятным.
Hi folks, Canadian Prepper here. Forgive my absence yesterday, guys. The information was just too overwhelming. I needed a break. And for that reason, today's news is going to be double. So let's just get right to it. We got everything to talk about, from World War III to crop failures to food shortages, record high temperatures. We got water shortages. We got a human bird flu case in the US, to say the least. Now, let's just jump right into this. Now, the Defense Secretary of Britain has warned that Vladimir Putin could declare a new world war within days. Mr. Wallace said that Russian president might use traditional Victory Day celebrations on May 9th, which commemorate the end of World War II, to call up troops for a war with the world's Nazis. Now, take it with a grain of salt. This is from the Sun, which is very heavily slanted towards the Western worldview. He also said that Russia's occupations of Ukraine risk becoming a sort of cancerous growth that must be cut out. These are very, very strong words in light of the other news that I'm going to share with you. The tendency to pump weapons, including heavy weapons, into Ukraine, these are actions that threaten the security of the continent, provoke instability, the Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said. So they are taking notice to what they're saying. And you remember that Satan missile that everybody was talking about? Well, guess what? They are going to build 46 of these things. 46 of these Satan missiles, which are capable of a 50 megaton yield spread across multiple warheads. That is just insane. A total of 46 Sarmat will be built. They will be placed in silos, replacing the Vaveda missiles, said Roscosmos spokesman. Okay. He also said that missile tests will continue within the year and that serial production of the missiles has begun. According to the Russians, Sarmat can hit targets at an unlimited distance and is more powerful than the American Minuteman III. Well, that's pretty obvious. So that's not looking good. Now, we also have news that 8,000 British troops are going to join these allied exercises in Europe. If you didn't know, NATO troops are going to be partaking in a military exercise. Tens of thousands of troops from NATO and other European nations will be taking part in a series of military exercises across Europe in the coming weeks as Western countries seek to deter Russian aggression. So you have 8,000 troops now from Britain, from the country that just called Russia cancer, heading out to the east for war games and exercises. So is this just a cover for the fact that they're actually getting ready for war? It may well be. Okay, so we have this situation which is intensifying. The Russians have been bombing Odessa quite heavily. Apparently they hit 114 targets in Odessa within the last 24 hours, which is very significant. And this, of course, comes on the heels of the Transnistria issue, which we've been talking about for a couple weeks now, with respect to it's a breakaway republic of Moldova, which is Russian supported. And the idea is that Russia may create some land bridge. In order to do that, of course, they would have to take out Odessa, which it appears that they are trying to do. Now, there also is talk, let me see if I can find the story here because it's very, very important. Apparently, they are trying to conscript people in Transnistria to fight for the Russians, or I think it's something like anybody between the ages of 18 and 60, very similar to what happened in Ukraine, okay? They are going to be, Transnistrian authorities have banned all men aged 18 to 55 from leaving the country. This is serious, deadly serious, because of those explosions and all this stuff. And the Moldovans are on edge, the Romanians are on edge, guys. It's getting ready to get lit up. From leaving the country, the Transnistrian Minister of Defense proposed a general mobilization at a special meeting for the strengthening of peacekeeping forces. This was issued in a statement by the heads of local administrations of Transnistria. Now, I believe there's only like 1,500 troops there, pre-war Russian troops. That was. I don't know if I know Transnistria has its own army and its own kind of government and stuff like that, which is independent of the Moldovans. So this is causing the Moldovans to sweat, and this means that the war may well spill over into that region. And of course, we have Poland announcing massive military drills, okay? Poland has announced a massive upcoming military exercise, warning the residents of increased traffic and columns of military vehicles moving across the country. The drills will kick off on May 1st and continue until the end of the month, the Polish military said in a statement on Thursday. And the arrival and passage of these columns will also be used by the participants of the exercises to practice the reception and deployment of allied forces and cooperate, yada, yada, yada. Now, these military vehicles will be moving around the country primarily at night in order to minimize the impact on civilian traffic. Still, some maneuvers will take place during the day. All this seems to be happening at the same time. And look at this, Sweden to reject a referendum on NATO membership. So they're not even going to ask the public if they think it's a good idea. And here's what they say. I don't think it's an issue, and this is the Prime Minister Magdalena Andersson. She says, I don't think it's an issue that is suitable for a referendum. The Swedish leader told reporters, implying that Parliament's support was sufficient. There is a lot of information about national security that is confidential. So there are important issues in such a referendum that cannot be discussed and important facts that cannot be put on the table. So that's it. They've basically made their decision. Sweden and likely Finland are going to join NATO, and that's going to add more fuel to the fire, most likely. And we've already talked about the Moldovan, Romanian issue, Transnistrian issue, I think quite a bit on this channel. I don't think that's going to be the next flashpoint for activity. There's no doubt about that. We have Biden, of course, pledging another $33 billion in resources to Ukraine. I mean, to me, that is just insane. $33 billion. I believe that's 9 times the amount that Ukraine spends annually on its military. $33 billion. Imagine what that could do for the derelict cities in the United States. that could use that money. I mean, it's unbelievable that they're going to pour all that money into military equipment, okay? Anyways, I just can't believe that they have the power to do that. Like, I mean, I can believe it, but it's incredible how at any time they can just, I mean, they were talking about 900 million before. They jumped to 33 billion all of a sudden. Like, wow, the audacity of these people. Anyways, so apparently on Moscow's Victory Day, if you don't know what this is, May 9th was the day that the Russians defeated Nazi Germany. And there's going to be a big celebration. Apparently, some people think that it's going to be Putin claiming victory for, you know, the Ukrainian conflict, and that they're rushing to get it done quickly. I don't necessarily think that's true. It appears that the Russians are quite methodical, and I can't see them. They're not like China in the sense that they're trying to put out some kind of image. You know, they're just trying to get the job done in any way they need to. So I don't know if this is going to be symbolic of much, to be brutally honest. They might use it as a rallying call to their population. Apparently the Doomsday Plane is going to be in the Victory Day parade, and yeah, they're going to be displaying some of their more cutting-edged weaponry in this Victory Plane, including the Doomsday Plane, which is perhaps a harbinger for what's to come. What else do we have to discuss? Yeah, so India apparently and Pakistan, about 1 billion people right now, are under a severe heat wave, which is causing the crops to suffer. And of course, we know that food output is going to be much lower as a result of the war. They're saying that this could impact India food production by about 25%. If you recall, India was one of the countries who said they would step up and try to increase their exports to try to, you know, fill in the voids. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. They're seeing temperatures upwards of 48 to 50 degrees in some places. And the problem is that typically their hottest months are May and June, which means that it is sweltering there, okay? There's this dumpster fire or landfill fire burning there right now, which is 50 football fields large. It's burning in plus 45 degrees. Could you imagine a landfill fire, all the toxins that are coming burning out of that landfill in a sweltering 45 degree heat, okay? And so what they're trying to do to fix the problem is they're trying to burn more coal to power more air conditioners. Well, if you don't know, air conditioners actually create heat. I mean, they increase the net heat overall. So it will cool your building, but it pumps all the hot air outside, and the engine of the air conditioner, the motor, actually produces more heat. And of course, you know, you got to burn more coal. So it's a vicious cycle. It's one of these self-reinforcing feedback loops that Guy McPherson talks about. And it's not looking good. They keep breaking records year after year for heat waves there. And of course, the population is just exploding. It continues to grow. It is slowing down a bit, but so it's not looking good over there. And that's going to put a big dent in the food supply as well. Southern Californians are also told to reduce their watering in unprecedented historic drought, which continues across the United States. 50% of the U.S. is now in a state of drought. And of course, we have just water shortages in a lot of different places around the U.S. As a result of this drought. So that is not good. We also have the first human case of bird flu reported in Colorado. A man working on a farm in Montrose is the first person in the U.S. to test positive for avian flu. The department said the man is mostly asymptomatic, reporting fatigue. He is now isolating and taking the antiviral drug. Well, if you don't know, the bird flu has a 50% kill rate. Okay, 50%. So the fact that he's asymptomatic does not really sit well with me. However, this is not a human-to-human spread. Now, if there was human-to-human spread, holy cow, would the markets ever crash. If there was a human-to-human spread of an asymptomatic avian flu, it's game over, guys. It is game over. So, yeah, this man was directly exposed to infected poultry at his work. And I believe, was he a inmate? Was he working as an inmate in a bird factory or something like that? I can't remember. I don't know the exact details, but you guys might want to do a bit more research on this. I'm going to have to look into this further because, I mean, all it's going to take, what this really is a sign of when you start to see human cases pop up, it's a sign of the prevalence of the bird flu in actual birds. It's being spread by migratory birds, meaning that the likelihood of it jumping to humans increases, and the more humans that catch it, of course, the greater the likelihood that it is going to evolve and mutate to become contagious between humans. Okay, it hasn't happened yet, thank God, anywhere in the world. As far as I know, there hasn't been a human-to-human transmission of bird flu. If there was, could you imagine the lockdowns that are going to come and the economic devastation that is going to come as a result of that? It is going to be hell. In fact, it might actually be so bad that it might grind this war to a stop if this bird flu actually got out. Part of the problem is we know that biological warfare may well be something which is employed in future wars, and whether that's going to play into this is unknown. But I have another story that I need to share with you guys, if I can find it. Another note. I don't know if I printed that one off. I was sent an email by somebody, and I really wanted to share it with people. And of course I forgot it, so I think I'm going to actually save that for a separate video. But it's about what is going on in China. And this guy has a very interesting theory with respect to the lockdowns in China, why they are occurring, and what it all means for the global economy, for the US economy, etc., etc. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. We're going to be releasing a funner video tomorrow. And oh yeah, this is an interesting story. Russia deployed military dolphins to protect Black Sea naval base as Ukraine invasion began. Now, I think I recall hearing something about this. I thought I would end this on a lighter note. I mean, is it a lighter note, militarized dolphins? I don't know. I guess in light of all the really bad stuff that's going on, relatively speaking, it's not bad. Putin stationed spy dolphins to protect key Black Sea harbor, U.S. satellites found. Pens of tactful sea animals moved to Sevastopol naval base before the invasion. Dolphins used for counter-diving, protecting harbor against undersea break-in. They can also carry bombs, plant mines, and attack enemy divers, reports claim. So, that's I guess the dolphins are joining the fight. And they got diagrams there and everything. It's a real thing, guys. It's not just I mean, it makes perfect sense. Like if you can train a dolphin, like you can train a German Shepherd to perform some of these tactical duties, and why not, guys? It's really starting to look like this situation is getting out of control, way out of control. And just cherish the days. Cherish the days. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Canadian Prepper out.